A play is nothing but the written form of a drama to be performed on the stage. So that is the meaning of a play. You are thinking how it is relevant in your life, or you are reflecting upon what has happened and what can you learn from that incident. So that is reflective writing. Summative assessment, that is the term end exam. Thus, that will be for 60 marks and altogether it will come to 100 marks. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today I am going to introduce you to the syllabus prescribed by University of MYSURU for 3rd Sem BCom. We are going to understand about the course objective. Then I'll tell you about the 4 different skills. Then we'll also understand the assessment types that are there. So let us begin with the introduction. So the course objective, that is in this semester, you will be developing these skills, that is the LSRW skills. So what does this LSRW stand for? L is listening. So then we have S is for speaking again. So your speaking skill also will be developed in this semester. Then we have R, that is reading. Yes, you have been developing this reading skill right from a very young age, but this will be more now. And at last we have W, that is the writing skill. That is very much needed for your professional development, whatever you are going to take up further. So these are the skills that this syllabus is going to cater to. Then we'll also develop interpersonal skills, how to deal with the other person, because you are stepping into the professional course after this. Okay, you will be taking up masters, or maybe you will be into some kind of business, or maybe you are going to take up some profession also. Their interpersonal skill is very much important. So you will be developing that also. You will also be grooming your presentation skills. Presentation meaning you need to develop the presentation physically, not the PowerPoint presentation. So that you will be developing how to present it very well is what you are going to understand. Then we'll also acquire the language skills. So how to present it. In the meantime, you will be developing the language, like the vocabulary. Okay, so you'll be developing your vocabulary, the voice intonation, so all the things you will be developing with the help of these skills. Okay, so when you have activities catering to all these skills, all the other skills will be within you. So next we'll start with the reading skills. We have Macbeth, the play written by Shakespeare this time for you. So last time you had a few poems and a few lessons, essays and all. It was very easy for you to understand. But this time you need to concentrate on various skills. So you are going to start with the reading skill, that is Macbeth, which is a play written by Shakespeare. So a play is nothing but the written form of a drama to be performed on the stage. So that is the meaning of a play. So this was written in the year somewhere during 1606. The plot of this play, I'll just tell this gist of this play to you. So there are 3 witches. They prophesize. They actually tell the prophecy that the Scottish general Macbeth. So this takes place in Scotland, and the Scottish general Macbeth, so he will be the king of Scotland. So this is the prophecy given by the witches. This plan, that is becoming the king, that idea was encouraged by Macbeth's wife, that is Lady Macbeth. And by this, in order to go and reach that goal, what does Lady Macbeth do? She tells her husband to murder the king, that is King Duncan. So she tells that, so that he becomes the new king. So because of this, like in that hangover, like he kills one person and that actually leads to murder of many other people. So this it's a kind of paranoia, that is the fear of being caught. So he murders other people also. So due to this, civil war erupts to overthrow Macbeth. So the people want to overthrow Macbeth, and this results in more death. Okay, this is the one-line summary of this play Macbeth. So we have many characters over here. Which are those? We have Macbeth, the leading character. Then we have Lady Macbeth, the very important character, Macduff, and 3 witches we have. Then we have Malcolm and Banquo. When I'm giving you the lecture about this Macbeth, I'll be talking about all these characters. Okay, so the author of this play is William Shakespeare. This totally consists of 5 acts and 28 scenes. Okay, we'll go in detail in this play a little later in our coming lectures. This is an introduction, so I have just introduced you to the play. Then we move on to the listening skills. In this listening skills, we have 5 speeches. Okay, you need to listen to those 5 speeches and you need to answer the questions that are asked by the teacher in the class. So which are the speeches we have? So we have persuasive speeches. Okay, listening to that, you'll be persuaded to do something. You will be persuaded to achieve something. Okay, so that is called as persuasion. Persuasion means you'll be motivated to do something. So that kind of speeches you have over here. So at the outset, I'll just tell you what and all are the speeches now we are going to understand. So first speech is Swami Vivekananda's speech at the World Parliament of Chicago. He spoke at the World Parliament of Religions at Chicago. So there he talks about various religions. He introduces Hinduism to the world. This is actually very famous. This occupies a very important position, a very prominent position in the history of the world. So he introduces Hinduism to the world. He speaks about tolerance. He also talks about inclusion and also the need to end fanaticism. So he talks about all that. So we'll just go in detail when we come across those lectures. Next, we have Rabindranath Tagore's speech, that is Crisis of Civilization, and he gave the speech at Shantiniketan. Okay, so this is all about Tagore introducing, like he denounces Europe for his aggressive nationalism. Then he talks about imperialism, the racial chauvinism, all these he talks about. He actually is apprehended by the Catholicism for human civilization. So this is crisis of civilization. When he talks about civilization and what are the crises that are faced by this civilization is what he talks about. Okay, so we'll go in detail in our coming lectures. Then we have Gandhiji's Quit India speech. When he's addressing that AICC meeting at Mumbai, he talks about this Quit India movement. So Gandhi speaks to the Muslim population here. So he's talking to the Muslim population. He's talking to the Muslim brothers over here. So he inspires the unity over here. Okay, how united we should be as a nation. He talks about, he persuades the Muslims to be united with the Hindus. It is actually a kind of joint effort by Hindus and Muslims in order to fight for freedom. So how they can be very much helpful, how they have to cooperate with the Hindus in order to fight for freedom. Okay, how they can be involved in this freedom movement is what he talks about. So that is what we have in this Gandhiji's Quit India movement speech. Then we have Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's Constituent Assembly speech. So this also is very much important. Here Ambedkar actually cautions how the working of a constitution should be, and he also says that the working of constitution does not depend on the document itself. Means we have to follow it in everyday lives and we should not be going and referring to the document every time we have to follow. It is not only a document. It is actually blended within us. It is actually blended in our daily lives is what he says. We'll go on in detail when we come to that lecture. At last, we have Martin Luther King's lecture, I Have a Dream. This is also a very famous lecture. All the others were of the Indians, but this is US President speaking. This is very important because of the persuasive nature that is there in his dream. Okay, so he calls for equality. The earlier speeches, whatever we saw just now, they were all Indians and they actually gave a call for equality. Here also, he talks about the inequality shown by the government, that is the people, the white people and the black people. So he calls for equality. The importance of everyone being treated equally is what Martin Luther King says in this I Have a Dream. This is not relevant only to the US, but he wants everybody to be treated equally. That is why it is relevant to the whole world. That is why people read these speeches even now. You will be listening to these speeches in the class and you will have to answer the questions that are asked over there. Okay, let us move on to the next skill now, that is speaking skill. When you have read, when you have listened, you have a lot of knowledge. Now you have to speak it out. Okay, so in speaking skills, we have this informative or instructional presentation All these whatever I'm talking about is presentation only. Means you will be speaking in front of the crowd, in front of the teacher in the classroom. Okay, you will have such speaking skills now. Informative and instructional presentation based on some project you have done or based on some survey or case study you have done. You will be speaking it out in the class. You have persuasive presentation also. You have done something and you're inspiring the people to do that. Suppose you have interviewed a person there. Maybe some person is very prominent in your locality. You have interviewed that person and you will be talking about that person over here. So you will be talking about that person, and that is nothing but a persuasive presentation. Then we have a decision making presentation. Decision making, when you do a case study, you are deciding on something. So that one is decision making presentation. You are presenting that survey, you are preparing a report of that survey and presenting it. That is nothing but decision making presentation. Then we have demonstrative presentation. You have done some case study probably. You are demonstrating something. If you are comparing two things and giving some decision, then it will be a decision making presentation. Suppose you are presenting something in front of the crowd or in front of the audience, that becomes a demonstrative presentation. So these are the 4 different types of speaking skills you are going to develop in this semester. Then we are coming to this writing skills here. So what are the writing skills? You have various types of writing. So what are those? We have descriptive writing. It is a very long writing. You are describing about something. So that is descriptive writing. Then we have narrative writing. Maybe you are writing a story or you are narrating an incident of your life. That is nothing but a narrative writing. So you are talking about yourself, or maybe somebody else is talking and you are writing it. Okay. It can be a first person narration or maybe a third person narration. Then reflective writing. You have an incident and you are reflecting upon it. Means you are thinking how it is relevant in your life, or you are reflecting upon what has happened and what can you learn from that incident. So that is reflective writing. Next we have argumentative writing. That is persuasive argumentative writing. You propose some arguments and that will persuade somebody to accept some fact that is before you. So that is persuasive argumentative writing. Then we have comparative writing. Suppose you are doing a case study, you are comparing two things. So there, when comparison happens, when you are writing a report, that becomes a comparative writing. So whatever you have written over here, that will be presented in the form of speaking skills in the class. Then we have cause and effect writing. So there is some incident that has happened, that what is the cause for that and what is the effect of that. So this will be presented by you. So whatever projects you have done, whatever surveys you have done, interviews you have done, whatever it is, you will first prepare a report. That means writing skill happens first. Then comes the speaking skill. You have to present it before the class. That is the speaking skill. Okay. So why do we do all this? Because after 4 years of your degree, you will be ready for your research. Suppose you want to take up PhD. So you should be able to understand from where I have to gather data. Okay, you need to gather data from somewhere, you need to analyze it. So everything you are going to learn over here. This is the basics you are going to learn in these 4 years. Okay, so skills will be developed so that it will be easy for you to present the thesis. Okay, so whatever you have written, that you will present it before a committee of jury. That is nothing but PhD thesis. That is presentation of PhD thesis. So you will be prepared for presentation of that. So that was something about writing skills. So what and all you will be learning this time? You will be learning about letter of inquiry. So in your writing skills, you have various types. So this is actually business correspondence. So in business correspondence, you will be learning about letter of inquiry, order letter, then letters of complaint, how to reply to that letter of complaint, and the promotion letters and sales letters. Promotion letters, you are talking about the promotion of your employees. Sales letters, sales promotion you are talking about. Okay, it is more or less like an advertisement. Advertisement is a poster presentation, but sales is something wherein you provide the flyer or something like that and then you write a letter. So all the details will be in the form of a letter. So this comes under business correspondence. Okay. So apart from that, you have commercial writing also. Under commercial writing, you have advertisement writing. You have two different types of advertisement which you'll be learning in the coming sessions. Advertisement, you have this classified advertisement and the display advertisement. So those you will be learning. And then you have designing of product manual. Suppose you are introducing a product to the market and you are supposed to write about that product. So you might have bought a new mobile phone and you have various parts that you have to introduce, and you need to talk about how to operate that, what stands for what. So the features of your mobile phone. So everything will be written in the form of a manual. Not only mobile phone, any small thing for the matter today will have a product manual. So any new product you're launching to the market, you will have to be ready with the product manual. So that also you'll be learning, that is how to write a product manual. Then you have poster or brochure writing. So this display advertisement and brochure making, we'll learn it together because this is more or less the same. Classified is different. This display advertisement is different. So we are going to understand this poster and this brochure writing together. Okay. So this was the writing skill part that I told you. Coming to assessment part, this is similar to the previous year's assessment only. You have formative assessment, that is the internals part. So this one will be the internals part, the green book, blue book and all, and also the presentation part, whatever you have. So all that will be there for 40 marks. And summative assessment, that is the term end exam. Thus, that will be for 60 marks, and altogether it will come to 100 marks. So what do we do in this formative assessment? So that 40 marks what you have, what and all do you do in that? So first internal test, what we are going to conduct, it will be reduced to 10 marks. Then we have second internals also, that will be reduced to 10 marks. Apart from this, we have some assignments also, that is survey, interview, whatever it is. Okay, that will be there for 20 marks. Okay, so each survey, each case study, what you do, whatever it is, we are going to reduce it to 10 marks, and we are going to give you marks over there. So one thing you're going to do is a survey. The next thing you're going to do is the interview. So survey or case study and interview you will have to do over here. That will be reduced to 20 marks, and we are going to award marks to you. So all these come up to 40 marks. Okay, so this formative assessment, whatever is there, that constitutes of all these. Hope you are clear with the way in which assessment happens. So this was just an introduction to your syllabus. We'll be talking about your syllabus in detail in the coming sessions. So thank you for your time. Let us meet again. See you shortly. Bye-bye. Take care.